Hi folks, Carl here again from the AAEC forum. Richo71 is the avatar. Lovely sunny day outside today. Start of the World Cup and everything today. Anyway, I've got a review for you again. This time it is a mechanical device. This mechanical device has been out for a while now. It's been cloned a bit ago, beginning of the year if not earlier. But this is the first time I've used one. And it is the 69 mod from Infinite. This is an Infinite device manufactured. The original was made by Atomo Mihani, who made the Nemesis, and I purchased this from elegantvapour.co.uk. Thanks guys up there, brilliant again. I've been up there again today for a couple of hours. I'm always up there at the moment. It's just a great shop for me, and the guys in there are brilliant. And Phil, excellent Phil, brilliant mate. Right, I'm just resetting my scales. This is a 22mm telescopic stainless steel mod. It's got a brushed finish and a polished finish to it. Now I'll just give you the weight of it on my scales. Well, I've got my scales here. The weight with no battery in is 96 grams, so it's not too heavy at all. I'll put my scales back. Right. This mod will take 18 350s, 18 500 or 18 490s, 18 650s. It will take a kick when 18 350 and 18 490 stroke 500 mode only. It will not take a kick with 18 650. The original did not take a kick with the 18 650 either. So we'll just get that bit out of the way first. Right, we'll start at the top. Top cap has a polished finish to it, and it has some knurling around the bottom here as well. This top bit comes off like it does on the Nemesis, and it has two airflow holes because the top cap has a Nemesis style airflow to it. So if you line the two holes up with the two holes on the serrated bit, you can have airflow to the 510 inside for atomizers that don't have their own airflow, like a Vivinova or something like that. There are a lot of atomizers now tend to have their own airflow systems built in anyway. It is a adjustable silver plated brass center pin, which is screw in into some Dowling insulator there in the top cap. Now when threading this in to the top cap, it's normal threading, and the actual contact pin at the top there is reverse threaded. So if you take the if I take the pin out to show you that, if you turn the pin anti-clockwise, this screw here, if you turn it anti-clockwise it goes down. If you turn it clockwise it comes up. So if I turn it clockwise, which is reverse, it comes out. So it's a two-part 510 pin. So as you've got more adjustment in there for your atomizers, for atomizers that don't have much adjustment on. So I'll just screw that back in again, hopefully, he says. That's it. So we'll screw that back in. So yeah, that's the top cap. Nice serrated design around the edge. I like it. Some people don't like it because they like more of a flat finish, but that's subjective. I like that. Now this is the switch housing. Now it's called the 69 because on the mod you can have the switch at the top or the bottom. Well, I'll show you that in a minute. That's the switch housing in there. When this is a silver plated pin here which makes contact with this pin here, and underneath, if I screw this out, if I can get it out, that's it. I'll pull it all out actually. That is the contact pin for the underneath part of this. If I turn the pin on the side, I'll show you better. So you've got a silver plated pin in there that makes contact with the top cap pin and the bottom of the switch pin. And if you turn it on its side like that, that's in its lock mode, or it's in a mode where it won't fire. So all you do is you just pull it out a little bit and turn it, so it's like that. So you're effectively turning. There's a moniker on there which was a lot more brighter coloured than that. It's wore off a bit over the time I've had it. And so if you put the 69 on the side, I don't know if you can see it there on my camera. If you turn the 69 so it's tilted, that means it's in that position and it won't fire. But it's a nice switch, very nice switch. It has the O-ring on at the back of the pin there, you can see it. And I've also added another O-ring behind the spring there, just as something for that spring to rest on. And the back of the dowel ring that's holding the pin in is located in a little hole at the back of the switch. So yeah, it's a little bit of a complicated switch to show you on camera, but we'll screw that back in. Now this pin underneath is also reverse threaded. This is a battery rattle pin really, but this only comes into play when using an 18350 battery. So if I turn it clockwise, it comes out. If I turn it anti-clockwise, it screws back in again. So that's a 2-part pin there as well. So I'll just take that out just to show you anyway. There you go. It's a 2-part pin. So I'll screw it back anti-clockwise, screws it in. So don't forget that that's reverse threaded. And hopefully I've showed you everything on there that you need to see. Also, if I can show you one more thing on it, that you can strip this switch down. This silver pin here has got a flat edge. You need a flat edge screwdriver to unscrew it, and then the switch comes apart for cleaning. You need to keep these contacts really clean because there's only a small amount of surface contact that touches the pins, so any dirt on there you'll lose a bit of you'll lose some voltage. You won't get as good a firing out of it. So what we've got here is the bottom part, well the main part, should I say, the main body part of it, which is telescopic. The outside is brushed and the inner tube is polished. So I'll just screw it. The threads are lovely, the threads are fine. In using this over the last 4 days, I've had no problems whatsoever with it at all. I haven't really had any. I've had a couple of little misfires on it, but when pressing the switch, but apart from that, it's been fantastic. The main tube is vented with two elongated battery venting holes at the bottom. That's the polished inner tube. So this inner tube will only thread in to the what I call the top of the tube, where the top of the tube where the air holes aren't. So it won't thread in that way. It won't fit. It only fits in that way. This is because of the switch going on the bottom and the top. So that's that bit. Threads are brilliant, like I said, on every part of this mod. This is the bottom cap, which is polished. It's got the logo on it, as you can see, in the train, front of the train. And it has a silver plated brass post, which is fixed, I think. Let me just see if I can get a pair of pliers on it. I've not tried to get it out, to be honest. Yeah, that's fixed. I'm not going to force it, but it seems fixed to me. It may unscrew with a bit more force, but I'm not sure. But that's there's no reason to remove that anyway. Just polish it while it's in there and get the grime off it if any grime gets on it. But that's the bottom cap. Pretty simple bottom cap. Now, to set this up with the switch at the top, is you put your bottom cap on, choose your battery of choice. Let's set it up in 18350, then I can show you the battery rattle adjustment. So I've got an eFest 18350 purple 10.5 amp. Plop it in. Put your switch on. Put your desired atomizer on. In this case it's going to be a Orico dripper, which I did the review of last night, which was my last review. So you put your dripper on and then you can screw your pin up. If there's any adjustment needed, I just take the pin out and adjust. I just take the pin out and then adjust this top pin. And I always go for, when I'm adjusting, is I want a little gap I'll show you where I go for the gap, so as I know it's touching. A little gap between the base of the pin here and this black dowel ring. So there's just a little gap there now, as you can see here. And then always make sure that's up and touching and tightish. You don't have to get a pair of pliers on it. And you screw it onto the top like that, onto the top of the switch, and then just screw the whole of this outer with the switch, with the bottom cap on, up. Now the thing with 18350s in here is, I'll show you now, it's got battery rattle. So what you would do is unscrew it from the polished bit, so as the whole thing comes off. So you've got your inner tube and your outer tube connected and your batteries in there, and then you alter this pin here. Don't forget, it's reverse threaded, so turn it clockwise for it to come out. So you need it to come out a bit. So screw it out and then screw it up. Still a bit of rattle in there. You only have to do this once if you are using it in 18350. Screw it out a bit more. If you're using 18350s all the time, it's just that I haven't been using it in 18350. And there it is. No rattle. And we'll see if it fires. If it doesn't fire for you, turn the switch, or if you think you're having to press it a bit too hard, turn the switch full 180 all the way round, 180 degrees, and you'll find it'll fire without pressing it too hard. It's just the way that the contacts are made up inside here, on the contact on the switch. It's a little bit thicker one side than it is the other, because the other side it's got the flathead allowing you to screw the pin out of the switch. Hope that's clarified that. So that's an 18350 mode, and it's fine. Now, an 18350 mode without the atomizer, with my SpongeBob ruler, we're looking at, from the bottom to the top of the top cap is 76 millimeters in 18350 mode. So what we'll do is unscrew that. And what I do now is screw that pin in, just so it's gone in. So it's gone in now, flat with the other bit. And we'll put an 18500 in. Now that was a nipple top, and this is a flat top, but it's an 18500 or 18490, whatever you want to call them. This has 18500 on it. It's a purple E-Fest 15 amp. So we'll plop that in, and then we'll unscrew the centre tube, the telescoping bit, until I've got a bit of play in there, and then we'll screw the polished bit up to the switch, and then we'll screw the outer section up. One thing to note when screwing this outer section up, just snug is fine, because that pin on the bottom there is, I'll show you it again, if you screw it too tight, that pin will dent your batteries. It will dent them and may puncture them, so just be careful when screwing this mod up. You don't want it, you know, once it's snug, that's it. Once you've got rid of your battery rattle, that's it, that's all it needs. Because if you start really winding it up, it'll puncture or dent your battery, which you don't want. So that's in 18500 now. So you've got a bit of the polished inner tube, the telescoping bit showing. That's the mode I've been using it in. I like the telescoping modes, the telescoping mods, because I can just quickly change over without changing tubes, change over batteries. Fantastic. So yeah, you can use a kick in 18350 and 18500 mode. There's space in the tube for you to utilise that option. With an 18650, which I'll show you now, there isn't. So what I'll do now with 18650 is I take the outer tube all the way off, take that out, and I'll put, this is an AW 18650 nipple top, place that in the stainless steel outer tube, into the mod, make sure your bottom cap is screwed up, and screw the whole outer section till it's just snug, and then that's how it looks in 18650. Bit longer. So in 18650, I didn't give you the measurement, did I? In 18500, I'll do that again in a minute. It is to the top cap, to the top of the top cap, to the bottom of the mod is 105 millimeters in 18650 mode. Fantastic device. I think it's a brilliant device and a good looking device. I like the mixture of polished and stainless, but see, I've always liked telescope devices because they give you the ability to swap over batteries quickly. And I'll give you the size. This is a flat top, by the way, this e-fest, and I'll give you the size now again because I didn't give it you last time. Going from 18650 to 18500, there's a bit more screwing involved with the mod. And the size in 18500 is 89 from the top of the top cap to the bottom. So that's the mode I use it in mainly. That's you know, fits in your hand really nicely. So what we'll do now is I'll set it up, unscrew that a bit, take the atomizer off, and I'll set it up with the switch at the bottom. So what we need to do is take the whole switch, take the top cap off first. So we take that top cap off. There's a bit of a serrated edge there, so allow you to take that off. We'll take the switch housing off. So that's what you've just taken off there, this bit. Take the battery out. Take the bottom cap off. So this was the bottom of the mod where that cap's come from. And on there we put this switch. Like that. And then where the top cap was, just put my light back on, where the top cap was when it was on the top, sorry, where they had the top cap, this is now the bottom switch, bottom cap. So that's your switch at the bottom, and there's no seam there either. It's really nice. It really threads up really nice. Not much of a seam there at all. And then plop your battery in again. Put your top cap on. Put your atomizer on first now, on your top cap. Screw the top cap up. Give yourself a bit of play by unscrewing this polished inner tube. Put your top cap and your atomizer and screw that on. And then screw the whole thing, holding the polished bit, and screw the whole thing up so it's just snug. And now you've got your switch at the bottom. So preference whether you want it at the top or the bottom, and that's all there is to it. And I'll show you it firing. So yeah, if you want a pinky firer, you can have a pinky firer with this, as well as a what I call a thumb firer. So I've used it in both modes. I prefer, out of the both, I prefer it at the bottom for me, because the way I hold my mods, I can just fire it with my pinky there. Or you can hold it a bit more posh, like that. Bloody hell, I need some juice in there, it's getting a bit dry. Ooh, that was a bit of a dry hit then. So yeah, I'll have a quick vape. Beautiful, beautiful. It looks good with anything on it really, to be honest. I'll show you with the you've seen it in my other videos with the Stellaire clone on. Just looking at anything else I can shove on it. So what I'll do is unscrew it a bit, take the atomizer off. With this, you do have to take the top cap off when you're changing over atomizers, because you've got to make sure that your pin is in contact. So I've got an RSBT here, which I've got a review coming up for. This will make it quite long, because the RSBT is like it's a bit of a fogger type atomizer. And then we can screw it up. There's a 1 ohm coil in this RSBT, so yeah, don't have to screw it up. So, you know, I know it's a bit long, but that's how it looks. Lovely. Good bit of kit this RSBT is at the moment. I'm just testing it first for a couple of days before I do a review on it, but what I'm getting out of it at the moment is very good. Glass drip tip, but you can put any other drip tip on. It'll make it a bit less, because the drip tip is quite long on this. So you could put I don't know, a Vicious Ant style one on it, make it look less long. So yeah, that's the 69 mod, guys. I can't really say much else about it really. I'm just thinking if I've missed anything on it. Not really. Fantastic device in all modes. Just remember though, it won't take an 18650 in a kick. You've had a lot of questions in it, Elegant Vapor, about the 69 mod taking an 18650 in a kick. And it does not take 18650 in a kick. Only 18350 and 18500 modes will it take the kick. I don't use a kick preferably now on any of my mechanical devices. I don't feel that they need them anymore. Well, I don't personally anyway. But there's still some people out there that do take the kick chip and want that kick chip in it. But that's what it's like in 18500 with the switch at the bottom. Fantastic bit of kit. Thanks again, Elegant Vapor. I did purchase this with the Stellaire. Great, like I said before, they're a great bunch of lads up there. It's the pricing on this is £25, which is a bargain, absolute bargain for what it is. It's the finish on it's lovely. Absolutely gorgeous. I like the polished and the brush together, and you know, it's all logoed up properly. That finish on the 69, which was a little bit ready, is now sort of worn off a bit, but that's not, that doesn't put me off at all. It's still there, I can still see it. But a great bit of kit. Threads are lovely on it all the way through the mod. Fantastic bit of kit. I wouldn't tell you otherwise. You know, if it did have problems or issues with the switch or anything, I would tell you, but it hasn't. I haven't had any problems with the switch on this at all. The rubber O-rings there and everything. But yeah, it's brilliant. It's been excellent for me. So thanks again for watching, guys and girls. Sorry, it's been about 29 minutes now, half an hour. But I needed to show you both modes and the switch and everything. The two main things to think about with this is, when screwing it up, don't screw it up too tight, because you'll puncture the battery if you've got the switch at the top, that is. And it won't take 18650 in a kick. Apart from that, the mod is excellent. And thanks again, Elegant Vapor, for the good service again. And I'll see you in the next review. Thank you very much, guys. Bye.